There's a question nobody ever asks on a first date. Not what do you do? Not where did you grow up? Not what are you looking for? How do you love when you're scared? Because that's the question that actually predicts everything. Whether you pull away when things get real, whether you cling when someone goes quiet, whether closeness feels like safety or like the slow beginning of something that's going to hurt you. In 1985, two psychologists published a simple 3-option questionnaire in a Colorado newspaper. No lab, no academic journal, just a newspaper. And what they found changed how psychology understands relationships forever. They discovered that almost every adult alive falls into one of 3 categories in the way they attach to the people they love. And which one you are, right now, in this moment, is quietly determining the outcome of every relationship you're in or will ever be in. Let's find out which one that is. Here are the 3 statements from that original questionnaire. Listen carefully and notice which one lands closest to home. Statement A. I find it relatively easy to get close to others. I'm comfortable depending on them and having them depend on me. I don't worry much about being abandoned or about someone getting too close. Statement B. I often worry that my partner doesn't really love me or won't want to stay. I want to get very close to people. And that sometimes scares them away. Statement C. I'm uncomfortable being close to others. I find it hard to fully trust people or let myself depend on them. When someone gets too close, I feel nervous, and people often want more intimacy from me than I can give. One of those probably felt uncomfortably accurate. Here's what each one means. And more importantly, what it's been doing to your relationships without you realizing it. If you chose A, you have what psychologists call secure attachment. You're not perfect. You're not without pain. But somewhere in your early life, you learned something fundamental. That love is generally safe. That people who care about you will mostly stay. That needing someone doesn't make you a burden. And that closeness doesn't have to cost you yourself. Secure attachment doesn't mean you never get hurt. It means, when you do, you don't interpret it as proof that love was never real or that you were never worth keeping. Only about half the population lands here, which means if you chose B or C, you're not broken. You're in the majority of people who learned love differently. If statement B felt like it was written about you, that's anxious attachment. Picture this. Your partner takes 2 hours to reply to a message. Most people notice the delay and move on. But for you, something activates. Your mind starts running scenarios. Are they pulling away? Did you say something wrong? Is this the beginning of the end? By the time they reply, probably just saying they were busy, you've already rehearsed the breakup conversation in your head twice. That's not you being dramatic. That's a nervous system that learned early that love is unreliable, that warmth disappears without warning, that you have to monitor constantly for signs that someone is leaving, because once, a long time ago, not monitoring had consequences. The hunger for reassurance that comes with anxious attachment is real and legitimate. The need underneath it, to be chosen, to feel secure, to know you won't be abandoned, is one of the most human needs there is. The problem is the way it comes out. The checking, the questioning, the anger that arrives when what you actually feel is fear. The pushing for closeness in ways that accidentally push people away. You want connection more than almost anything, and the strategies your nervous system uses to protect that connection are often the exact things threatening it. Here's the unexpected line that might sting a little. When an anxious person attacks, when they go cold, or pick a fight, or send the message they probably shouldn't, underneath it is almost always just this. I'm terrified you're leaving, and I don't know how to say that without it sounding like too much. If statement C was yours, that's avoidant attachment, and this one is the most misunderstood of all. From the outside, avoidants look like they don't care. They go quiet during conflict. They need space in ways that feel personal. They're more comfortable with a stranger than with someone who knows them deeply. They can be present and warm, and then suddenly unreachable. But here's what's actually happening underneath that distance. Avoidants don't lack feeling. They learned, usually very early, that closeness leads to pain, that depending on someone means eventually being let down, that the safest version of love is the one you keep at arm's length where it can't fully reach you. So they built walls, not out of coldness, out of intelligence. The wall worked once. It kept something painful out. And now it keeps everything out, including the connection they actually want, but can't fully let themselves have. The avoidant isn't mean. They're not broken. They're afraid of the thing they want most. And that fear, the fear of needing someone who might not stay, runs so deep that withdrawal feels safer than the alternative. Now, here's the part that explains why relationships are so hard. Anxious and avoidant people have an almost magnetic pull toward each other. The anxious person feels drawn to the avoidant's mystery. The slight distance reads as depth. The emotional unavailability feels like a puzzle worth solving. If I can just get close enough, if I can just prove I'm worth staying for. The avoidant feels drawn to the anxious person's warmth and intensity. Someone who wants them that much feels validating, until the wanting becomes pressure, and the pressure triggers the retreat, and the retreat triggers the anxiety, and the cycle accelerates until both people are exhausted and neither one understands why. This isn't bad luck. This is two people with complementary wounds finding each other in the dark. 40% of the population is living some version of this dynamic right now. So what do you do with this? If you're anxious, the work isn't to need less. It's to learn to express what you need without weaponizing it. To say, I feel scared instead of launching an attack that makes your partner defend themselves instead of comfort you. To trust, just slightly more than feels natural. That quiet isn't abandonment. That space isn't rejection. That someone can love you and still need room to breathe. If you're avoidant, the work isn't to suddenly become someone who finds intimacy easy. It's to stay in the room a little longer than you want to recognize the moment you start checking out, and to say something instead of disappearing, to understand that the person asking for closeness isn't attacking you. They want you, and that's terrifying. And also, it's the thing you've always wanted too. Knowing your attachment style doesn't fix everything, but it gives you something most people never have, a way to watch your own patterns from the outside, to see the move before you make it, to understand that the thing you do in relationships that keeps causing pain isn't a character flaw. It's a strategy, one that made sense once, and one that you now have the awareness to slowly, not all at once, but slowly begin to change. Before you go, one question I want you to sit with. Which statement did you choose? And when you read it, did it feel like relief to finally have a name for it? Or did it feel like something you already knew but had been hoping wasn't true? Drop it in the comments. Just A, B, or C. You don't have to explain anything. Because sometimes the most powerful thing is just finally admitting, out loud, even anonymously, which one has been running the show.